We've all heard about the chosen ones, haven't we? It sounds like something straight out of a fantasy novel or an ancient myth. But what if I told you that the chosen ones aren't born ready? They don't emerge with superhero capes or special powers. In reality, they are shaped by challenges, forged through difficult and transformative experiences. It's not an easy process, and most don't even realize they're going through it. The chosen ones are often seen as individuals destined to play important roles in the spiritual evolution of the world. They are awakened to guide, inspire, or assist others on their spiritual journeys. This purpose may manifest in forms of leadership, service to humanity, healing, or teaching. In the end, being chosen isn't about having a special privilege, but about accepting a calling to live in alignment with a higher purpose. It's an open invitation to anyone willing to listen and act in harmony with spirituality. These trials are not physical. They are not things we can see, measure, or calculate. They are challenges that deeply touch the soul, that stir the heart and mind. They are tests that challenge who we are at our core, and not everyone can overcome them. Yet with study and self-awareness, they become accessible to all of us. For those who persist and overcome, they emerge completely transformed, as a new version of themselves. Life, at its core, is a sequence of challenges, but they are not the same for everyone. Each person faces different levels, layers of difficulties that intensify as we advance. The chosen ones don't face these challenges because they want to, but because they feel they have no other choice. It's as if something inside them drives them forward. An inner voice that says, "You have to go through this." When my second awakening happened, I almost died due to complications I experienced. Many people told me I was strong, but that wasn't entirely true. The truth is that I had no other option but to keep moving forward. It may be difficult, but if this challenge was given to you, it means you are capable of overcoming it. The first great test is the most frightening. It forces you to look within yourself and see the truth. We spend our entire lives building an image of who we think we are, based on our jobs, relationships, material possessions, or how the world defines us. We live believing that happiness lies outside ourselves. But in this test, all these superficial layers are stripped away, and you stand before a mirror that reflects only the essence of who you truly are. This moment is transformative, but also terrifying. For many, it's like staring into an abyss. Without the masks, without the illusions, who are you? Who are you really, when everything the world says about you disappears? This is the kind of question that can make a person give up, retreating into the comfort of their illusions. But the chosen ones do not run away. They stay there, staring into that mirror, facing the abyss, until they find a true answer. Have you ever truly asked yourself, "Who am I?" It's not a casual question, one that passes through your mind from time to time. It's a burning question that demands an answer and won't let you rest until you face it. But remember, you are not your job, the clothes you wear, or the achievements you've had. You are so much more than that. You are the sum of your experiences, dreams, and the love you carry in your heart. You are your essence, that part of yourself that remains unchanged even in the storms of life. This essence is your true identity, a spiritual force that cannot be confined by labels or external circumstances. We live in a world that constantly defines us by what we do, possess, or appear to be. However, these definitions are temporary and external. They lack the power to capture who you truly are. When you begin to disconnect from these superficial identifications, you make room for something much deeper and more authentic: the awareness of being. This process of detachment is transformative. It takes courage to look beyond the masks we wear, beyond the expectations we carry, and realize that, at our core, we are infinite beings on a journey of learning and growth. And on this journey, our values, our ability to love, and our connection with the universe are what truly matter. When you understand that you are not your job, your clothes, or your achievements, you start living more fully and freely. External pressures diminish, and what emerges is a desire to be true to yourself. You become less concerned with what others think and more focused on how you can be faithful to your soul. Remember, you are the love you share, the light you bring to others, and the energy you choose to cultivate within yourself. In the silence of your soul, you will find all the answers you seek, because everything you need is already within you. So, ask yourself, who am I, beyond everything the world tells me I should be? Allow yourself to discover this answer daily, living with more authenticity and aligning yourself with what truly matters. You are not what you have, but who you are. And that is infinitely greater and more valuable than any external definition. The next test is equally challenging: isolation. We live in a noisy world, surrounded by constant stimuli: social media, work, family, friends. But to pass this test, you must be willing to be alone. It's not just physical solitude, but emotional and mental isolation. You need to sit with yourself in silence and confront your own thoughts, fears, and desires. It's in the silence that we find answers and open ourselves to hear spiritual guidance. In the silence, something extraordinary happens. Without external noise, you begin to hear a voice that has always been there, your inner voice. It's subtle but powerful and holds the answers you seek. But listening to this voice requires courage. Facing silence can be uncomfortable, but it's there that you discover who you truly are and what you are destined to be. The chosen ones are those who face these tests with courage, even when everything inside them screams to give up. They do not seek recognition or glory. Often, their journey is lonely and difficult, but what drives them is something greater. It's not about winning, but about transforming themselves. If you feel you're going through such challenges, remember, perhaps you are being prepared for something greater. And when you come out the other side, you will be someone completely new. The true strength of the chosen lies not in what they possess, but in what they become. If you are going through difficulties and wish to share them with us so we can help and pray for you, we would love to hear your challenges. Through them, we also find healing together with you. Remember, if I heal you, you heal me. If you heal me, I heal you. And together, we continue in this chain of prayer. Now, the question remains: are you ready to face your own tests? Let's talk about the power of silence and the tests of life. Have you noticed how many people struggle to deal with silence? It seems that the void brings forth thoughts and feelings they prefer to avoid. But those on a path of growth and transformation learn to embrace silence. They know that within it lies the truth about themselves. The hardest challenges we face in life are not always physical. They test our interior, our soul. And there is a series of tests that, while difficult, are essential for those seeking evolution. Let's explore them together. The test of letting go. This is perhaps one of the most challenging. We are so used to holding on, to grudges, disappointments, unmet expectations. We carry the weight of the past as if it were part of us, and it ends up holding us back. To overcome this test, it's necessary to learn to release, to let go. And this is a strong concept in Buddhism and various spiritual traditions around the world. Letting go doesn't mean abandoning everything or living without emotions. but rather releasing a rigid attachment to what is impermanent. In Buddhism, this practice is known as non-attachment, a deep acceptance that everything in life is transient, from joyful moments to the most challenging struggles. Releasing is an exercise in internal freedom. It's realizing that clinging to things, people, or ideas can bind us to unnecessary suffering. When we cling, we create expectations, and these expectations often distance us from the reality of the present. Non-attachment, on the other hand, teaches us to be fully present, without carrying the burden of trying to control everything. In Buddhism, understanding impermanence is a key to letting go. Nothing in life remains the same forever. Relationships change, circumstances evolve, and even our thoughts and emotions are fluid. When we accept this, we begin to release what we cannot control and find peace in uncertainty. Letting go is also an act of courage. It means trusting in the flow of life and believing that by releasing what no longer serves us, we are making space for the new. This can involve letting go of old grudges, a dream that no longer aligns with who we are today, or simply releasing the fear of loss. Releasing doesn't mean giving up everything or ceasing to care. It means stopping the obsessive grasp on control, outcomes, people, and things. It's trusting that what is meant to stay will stay, and what isn't will follow its course. Letting go requires courage, because we often confuse it with weakness. However, it's quite the opposite. Those who learn to release discover an inner strength they didn't know they possessed. But beware, this process doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey full of ups and downs. And just when you least expect it, life presents situations that challenge your ability to let go again. The question that remains is, how far are you willing to go to let go and find your true freedom? After overcoming the initial challenges, we arrive at a profound and transformative test, the so-called dark night of the soul. This is the moment when it feels like everything in your life is falling apart. Relationships end, goals lose their meaning, and you feel adrift in a sea of uncertainty. This period is not a punishment but a purification. It's as if life is helping you shed everything that doesn't truly belong to who you are. It's painful, no doubt, but also necessary. In the darkest moments, many give up. They feel consumed by despair and believe there's no way out. But those who persist, who trust the process, discover an inner light they never imagined they had. Darkness, after all, is temporary. It didn't come to destroy you, but to transform you. So I ask, how do you react when everything seems to fall apart around you? Do you desperately try to hold the pieces of your life together? Or do you trust that what needs to remain will remain? The next challenge is the test of faith. But here, we're not talking about faith in the traditional religious sense, but something deeper. Faith in yourself, in life, and in the process of transformation. Faith is believing that even when you don't see the path, it exists. It's trusting that every difficulty has a greater purpose, even if you don't understand it at the moment. Life's journey is filled with challenges, and each test prepares us for something greater. The question is, are you willing to face these trials and trust the process, even without knowing what lies ahead? These tests are inevitable parts of a path of evolution. Silence, detachment, darkness, and faith are like steps that lead us to our best version. Each of them brings unique lessons and transforms our perspective of ourselves and life. There are moments in life that defy any logical explanation. They are those phases when everything seems to crumble, and a sense of emptiness takes over. This is what many call the dark night of the soul. In these periods, what you most need is unwavering trust, to believe that this darkness is temporary, that something much greater is happening behind the scenes, even if you can't see it. Faith, in this context, doesn't mean ignoring the pain or pretending everything is fine. Quite the opposite. Having faith is facing the pain head-on, feeling it deeply, and still believing that everything is part of a greater purpose. It's like a whisper in the depths of your soul, reminding you that the universe is not conspiring against you, but for you, even when everything seems to be falling apart. If you're dealing with emotional pain, here on our channel, we discuss techniques that can help you overcome this difficult moment. Techniques such as imaginative meditation, creative visualization, hypnosis, and theta healing are excellent tools to help you work through this pain. During these dark moments, your faith will be tested. Doubts will arise, temptations to give up will surface, and you may feel like hope has vanished. You might even think you've reached the end of the line. But it's precisely in these moments that the inner strength of true resilience shines through. Those who persist, even without seeing the path ahead, are the ones who take one step at a time, trusting the unseen. Let's now move on to the test of surrender. After so much time fighting pain, fear, and uncertainty, there comes a moment when you feel exhausted. It's here that true transformation occurs. The test of surrender is not about strength or resistance, but about letting go. Surrendering control doesn't mean giving up. It means accepting that there is a greater force guiding events. As human beings, we like to plan, control, and shape the future to our liking. However, life has its own plans and often leads us down paths we didn't imagine or desire. The secret lies in understanding that absolute control is an illusion. Those who comprehend this know that a higher intelligence, beyond our understanding, is orchestrating everything. It's important to understand that surrendering to life's flow doesn't mean abandoning your dreams or ceasing to make an effort. Surrender is about releasing resistance, stopping the struggle against the tide, and allowing life's current to carry you. Imagine a river. Swimming against the current only brings exhaustion and frustration. On the other hand, when you trust the flow of the water, it gently leads you where you need to go. This surrender, however, may require you to let go of more than just your plans. It might involve releasing a part of your ego, rigid beliefs, and even the image you have of yourself. It's an invitation to trust fully in the process and in the greater wisdom that guides everything. In the end, surrender is one of the greatest demonstrations of strength. It's not weakness or apathy, but a profound acceptance that life has a greater purpose. When you stop resisting and allow yourself to flow with the events, you find the peace you've been searching for. The journey may be challenging, but the reward is transformative. A new perspective of yourself, the universe, and the role you play in it. Will there come a time when you'll need to let go of desires, attachments, and even dreams you've nurtured so carefully? This surrender, however, doesn't happen overnight. It's not like flipping a switch or performing a magic trick. It's a process, and like any process, it requires something fundamental. Trust. Trust in life, in yourself, and in something greater. A plan that may not yet be visible, but is unfolding right before your eyes. How often do you try to control every detail of your life? And how often do you resist what's happening simply because you wish it were different? Have you ever imagined what it would be like to release this need for control and simply allow life to happen? To believe that, even without understanding it at the moment, everything is happening exactly as it should? This learning has nothing to do with weakness. On the contrary, it's an exercise in strength and courage. Courage to trust what is intangible, what is beyond our immediate understanding. Most people avoid the idea of surrender because they associate it with losing or giving up. But, in reality, it's the opposite. Surrender is the beginning of a new alignment with life, a moment when you stop fighting against the natural flow and start moving with it. Surrender doesn't mean relinquishing your power, but aligning with a much greater power, a divine intelligence that knows your needs and the perfect timing to deliver what's best for you. Letting go of control requires faith. Faith that you will be supported even when there's no clarity, even when everything seems uncertain. It's a leap into the unknown, but that leap is essential for those who wish to grow and awaken. The final test, awakening. True awakening happens when you understand the reason behind everything you've experienced. The challenges, the pain, and even the uncertainties were not there to punish you, but to shape you. When you realize this, the pieces begin to fall into place. You see that you are not separate from life, but a part of it. Purpose is not something external to be achieved, but something internal that has always been present in every step of your journey. Awakening is not the end, but the beginning of something much greater. It frees you from fears, ego, and the need for control, allowing you to live with joy, purpose, and freedom. We thank you for making it to the end of this video. It means that despite the difficulties, you are committed to overcoming any and all obstacles. Congratulations. If this message touched your heart, please like this video and share it with someone you believe could benefit from it. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to follow more content like this. If you want to dive deeper, consider joining our community or exploring our exclusive materials available in the description. May God bless you and your family, today and always.